watching Tabletop Legends. If you like the episode, subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to enable notifications. A new episode goes up every Monday. You can also join us live on the Proficiency Bonus Twitch channel every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy. Tabletop Legends would like to thank our presenting sponsor, the 8th House and Marble Moon Studio, an independently and ethically sourced witchy lifestyle and home goods shop, supporting small businesses and creating a safe, inclusive space and community for witchy folk. Find them online at marblemoonstudio.com or shopthe8thhouse.com. Hello, welcome to Tabletop Legends. It's Tuesday! This is episode 13.
Woo, big 1-3.
Big 1-3.
Yeah, even Baker's dozen.
There is
unlucky 13.
so
First off, 13's a good number.
Okay, I don't think so.
so many exciting announcements to make. Some of them I'm not making yet, but stay tuned because some of them are coming out next week. But coming up within the next month, the month of July, is like a birthday bash month here at Proficiency Bonus. It is DM and producer Michael who started this whole shebang, always fixes our crap while we can't figure it out on stream. It is his birthday coming up this month, as well as the 2-year birthday of Proficiency Bonus. So there are going to be a whole bunch of cool, like one-shot special streams. We got all sorts of giveaways are being done this month, all sorts of cool stuff. And like I said, we do have some additional announcements coming starting next week. I believe the Monday, last night's stream, the Tomb of Annihilation stream, which I'm a player in, is where the new exciting announcements will be kicked off. But then if you tune in here next week, we'll have some fun information for you as well. Speaking of fun announcements, I said it last night on the Tomb of Annihilation stream. I'll say it again. Mug, still here. We're going to keep an eye on our viewer count. If we can get to 20 concurrent viewers during tonight's stream, we will try to raffle off one of these mugs.
You know you want that
Still
mug.
here, still selling real fake mugs.
I promise you the one that we give you is not the one that I drank tea out of last night, so it won't have this gross red film of tea gunk.
Human blood.
Human blood. But I would like to give a shout out to our sponsors. Team MZ, Streamlabs, the Twitch affiliate program, and many-sided dice who support Proficiency Bonus and small streaming networks like us. I'd also like to thank the 8th House and Marble Moon Studio, who are Tabletop Legends presenting sponsors and purveyors of fine mugs and other cool, witchy, and hipster lifestyle. Hipster an offensive word in this context? I don't mean it as such.
Home style and ethical goods.
Yes, witchy lifestyle and home goods, ethically sourced. They definitely have like a hip, cool guy.
Yeah,
like,
I mean they do.
Punk rock theme going on. I dig it. I'm into it.
Okay.
I don't mean it as a bad thing.
Man.
They do have Kickstarters up.
Yes.
Check them out. Shop the 8th House, Marble Moon Studio. Look them up on Instagram. Find their information. They have Kickstarters up for a couple of sets of custom tarot decks that they have made. They are super cool. Did she decide on green or silver?
It's gonna be green.
Good. She's right.
Yes.
It's gonna be green.
She has dodged a bullet on that one because she almost made a poor decision and made them green. The Marble Moon Studio is a green foil bordered tarot deck.
July 2nd.
Very cool.
July 2nd, Kickstarter.
July 2nd.
Kicks off.
I always
Go sign
I
up.
always recommend using them for a deck of many things in your D&D games. They
Yes.
are a cool stand for that, especially like cool, crazy looking ones. I have one of my own. You could theoretically also use them for tarot if you're into that. Who knew?
Do it.
Or send them to people ominously in the mail.
Yeah!
Get a whole bunch of deck cards.
They
Just
just-
get a
yeah.
deck card, stick them in an
Just
envelope.
your
send
enemies
them to
open up an
strangers.
envelope and it just has death. Who knows? Don't do that. We're gonna
Please.
we're gonna be on a list for
Just
like
has the 3 of
promoting
cups, and people are like,
promoting terrorism or
what does
something.
this mean?
Please don't send stuff through the mail that you don't have no intention of sending.
Just do it.
No. Anyway, let's hit the recap and then get this
Ow.
bitch underway. Last week, I don't think the cookies are on
Okay.
camera. There are cookies.
That's good.
Did we remember to bring gross lollipops? We were gonna do second
There's
installment.
one
of
in my
We Feed-
car, but we're not going to pass the one lollipop.
Nah.
Do we have more salsa spaghetti? Because that's not bad. No. Damn it.
I brought things that actually taste good this time.
You brought normal cookies. You want weird food.
We want weird food.
How dare you?
Unfortunately, we cannot continue our installment of We Feed the Cast Weird Things during our
I
break.
can go on Amazon and fix that.
That's gotta be a
Next
special
week
occasion.
or next
Special
month for
occasions.
the
Birthday
For the birthday, yeah. We'll get
birthday.
cake. We'll make Curtis eat
Salsa
Wawa.
cake. We'll make weird cake.
Sure.
Mind flayer cake. I made beholder cookies for Halloween one year. They're cookies that had
shit.
candy eyeballs all over them. Anyway, oh my god, we're so distracted. This is a disaster.
It's gonna be fun. Let's go.
Yes, so tonight's episode, we rejoin the party in the town of Woodpine. They are currently in possession, secretly, of a blackened wand possessing necromantic powers to raise and apparently control the dead. They have stowed this item away upon themselves, unsure of whether they trust the Mythlindian government or the mysterious Torian Idrian and his employers with such a dangerous item. So they're playing it close to the chest until they get a better idea for what they think they want to do. Meanwhile, as they make their way towards the capital of Mithlinde, where the address that they were given upon completion of their task by Idrian is, they have passed through this town of Woodpine in pursuit of a group of professional relic hunters that they ran into in Stone Mill, going by the name of Rogers and the Boys. These relic hunters had approached them about teaming up to break into a dwarven mausoleum that was in town. And when the party did not go for it, these relic hunters seemed to seize some opportunity to do the job themselves and have made off with a magical item of some sort that the party knew was in that tomb. The party has chased them, spending considerable amount of effort at the expense of poor Henrietta, the draft horse, in catching up with them in the town of Woodpine, and have been spending the morning, after traveling through most of the night, sort of walking around, inquiring about them, taking a look. As they were about to head into the other main inn and tavern within Woodpine that bordered the docks along the bank of the Nivian River, they, by chance, happened to catch sight of an individual seemingly out for some sort of a walk, otherwise business unknown, that matched the appearance that part of our group had seen before of one of Rogers and the Boys, the female member of Rogers and the Boys, Rana. At that point, in a desperate attempt to act casual, they acted very not casual, and Rana spotted them. So at this point, Kel and Nula had ducked into the tavern, trying to get out of sight. Osrius, in his rush, and in that he is about 7 feet tall, and the door frame of the tavern is not that tall, made a bit of a ruckus, attracted Rana's attention, and is now kind of standing outside the tavern, watching her as she beelines into a nearby alley. Alar had moved off and cast Disguise Self on himself to try and start to head her off, and Walter and Brahm have similarly moved in her direction, splitting and all kind of delving into the maze of narrow streets and alleyways, attempting to chase down this individual. So, at this point, I'm actually going to have everybody roll an initiative for me.
Yeah.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Who has the wand before this matters?
Osrius had it last I knew.
Okay,
But
Osrius
Walter,
has
might
the
have,
wand.
Walter might have it.
What? When did I get the wand?
You've had the wand like off and on.
You were messing with it.
Hold
You
on.
messed with it last.
We
I
buried
I'm not
it.
sure.
The last time I remember, we buried
I
it.
buried the hit.
We did.
So
We gave it to-
We left it with you the week that you weren't
left it-
here
we
because
left
you
it
stayed
with-
out of town.
Then we left it with
No,
I
he
guess
left.
I-
He had
I
stayed.
still have it.
Who would have picked it up while we were traveling? Who is our responsible adult?
I thought Walt.
You're responsible.
I mean, you're the responsible adult.
We're all putting fingers. It ain't
1,
me.
2, 3, 4,
We
5,
can
6.
just- we can just say I had it because I did cast it.
One.
Yes.
Osrius has it. You
Osrius
did it.
has
it.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
I gave it back to you.
Perfect.
Ooh,
That's not a bad
some
idea.
loud background music tonight.
That's perfect.
I
I
remember.
feel like there's a chance that it matters who has it. So
I
Alright.
cast detect magic on it and
that's
with my new magic eyes, and then
You special eyes.
Might sound
my
terrible.
special
I
eyes.
apologize.
Can't see in the dark, but I can see magic now. It's fine. And then I believe I would have given it back to either Oz or Brom.
It's what I
I've
remember.
never had it, so.
Brom had it when we went back to town, but I missed the session.
we left it with you because you weren't here and you stayed out of
Maybe
town.
that's why
Yep.
I don't.
And then I don't think we really.
Then if I have it, then I have it. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So you
Well,
still have
the dice spoke, so.
Yes.
The dice have spoken.
The black dice has spoken.
One for me.
All right, so initiatives, 25 to 20.
21.
One. Let's roll one for-
Hey, can you get some dice Joe real fast?
Wow, immediately.
He needs like we need a
got-
jumbo
I got
on an
dice jail
initiative?
just for him.
They make bigger ones.
Can we get a dice bound palace?
They make big ones. Even they even make ones where it's like.
Jason's
they're
like
hanging.
any number that his dice rolls that's like below a 14. He's like dice jail. These are terrible. These are ruined.
If it's single digits, it's going.
I pray for 14 half the time. Thank you.
19 to 15.
16.
Also 16.
16. Kel.
It was right there.
Brom.
My dice roll.
14 to 10.
14.
Hey, look at
Not
that.
single digits.
I say I got beat up by Nula.
Solid 11.
Look at that. You are not last.
Double digits.
I got a 7. Just I'm the last one.
You are the last one.
I got a 7.
Alrighty, so, Alar, as you have had slipped around the side before all of this kicked off, you are currently kind of working your way around the building. You are otherwise unaware that anything has kicked off yet at this point. You're just sort of making your way down the alley. And what have you disguised yourself to look like?
I disguised myself to look more human, duller hair, so instead of blonde hair, just a dingy brown, long enough to hide, to help hide the ears. I do reach behind my back and conjure the weasel
Okay.
for a second pair of eyes and ears, and drop him off
Okay.
as I continue to head around.
Alright, so you head around. Kel and Brom, you guys are next to react. So Brom, Rana basically pulled like a hard right turn and went into an alley about 40 feet from the entrance of the inn.
Okay.
So that's kind of where, and you're, at the entrance of the inn, that is where you see that she disappeared to. She didn't start running.
I will
She just slightly quickened her pace.
Follow after.
Okay. So are you using a dash? Your standard movement speed will not get you
Around
to
the corner.
the corner. You get you about 10 feet from the corner where she turned. Okay. You want to dash the full 60, or you want to just get to the corner?
I want to just get to the corner.
Okay. So go ahead. You like kind of jog a little bit. As soon as she disappears around the corner, you kind of start jogging in that direction. Kel, what are you doing from? Sort of you slip in, but you hear behind you Osrius like thunks into the door.
I look around inside for any of the other ones.
Sure, make a perception check.
That was actually a good idea.
24.
24.
Oh boy.
The inside of the inn, you do not immediately see anybody that looks like either Rogers or his large friend. There are a few people inside, more than had been in the Drunken Bee. There is a bartender behind the bar. Appears to be a half-elf. There are a couple of tables with just like individual patrons at them. Appear to be like eating breakfast. There is one table where there is 4 individuals sitting together. They're just kind of casually eating their breakfast, but you do notice that they all are wearing like a matched black with some like reddish trimmed doublets on, as if they have like a almost like a uniform-esque set of garb to them.
I don't see anyone exciting here. I say we give it a minute and then go back outside. I'm going to step out of the way of the door in case other people want to go past me and then just wait.
Okay. Nula, that brings us to you.
You did exactly what I was going to do, so I will wait with them.
Okay. So, Osrius, at this point you are up.
Right. From the door to where the alleyway that she ducked down in, how far is it away?
About 40 feet.
I'll go to the end of the entrance to the alleyway.
So where Brahm is?
Yes.
Okay. Now are you guys like peeking or are you kind of staying?
I am.
Alright, go ahead and both of you make perception checks.
That's better. 20, not natural.
Okay.
18.
18. Alright. As you guys round the corner. Here, throw that in dice jail for me. As you guys round the corner, you see about 20-ish feet down this narrow alleyway is the retreating back of Rana. She's not running. She is still kind of keeping up this casual walk. You do... What was your roll?
18.
18. You do both see she has, even though she's not looking around or anything like that, her pace has definitely quickened. But you can kind of get the impression that she's like maintaining a sort of air of casualness still, but seems aware, or at least moving to get out of this area. Which does bring us to her turn. She, keeping that kind of quick pace, you guys watch as she heads up about another 10 feet and makes a left onto another street.
Another alley.
This one is like it's really no wider than the alley was, but this one is like an actual street.
Actual street.
Like the next street back behind the row of buildings that you're on. So Walter, this brings us to you. So you had gone. You said you were going like basically. So if you guys started here, and she was here, coming this way, and like boop, up that way initially, which way are you going? Brahm and Walter, or Brahm and Oz went like this.
How tall are the buildings?
Most of them are no more than 2 stories.
Less than 30 feet
So
tall?
you're talking about 30-ish feet tall.
I'd like to Misty Step up on top of them,
Okay.
and then try to go in the direction that I saw her.
Okay.
On the rooftops.
So bonus action is, but Misty Step's a
It's-
bonus action, right?
It's bonus, yeah, bonus
Okay.
action.
So you Misty Step, kind of spot a standable position on a nearby roof. You Misty Step up.
and go ahead and as you start to kind of move in the direction of her, go ahead and make a dexterity check for me as you kind of like begin to jump between buildings.
Did we see him do this?
You probably did not because he's behind you.
You're about to.
What's your dexterity check?
I believe that would be a 6, but I have to double check. Trying to get back to my character sheet. I broke it.
You should
You're
probably
gonna break something.
should probably Misty step out of this awkward situation.
Probably like Misty step your way home. Jesus.
We're not even like 5 minutes into the
That's
game.
Dice
2.
jail.
I'm 2 down.
Do I need to go on Etsy and find a new dice check?
Yeah, it's not rocks though. They also don't break. If it's just a dex.
What's our house rule for when someone runs out of dice?
They
have
leave.
to go home.
They have to go home.
Hell, I'm
so
out
that
of
would be a
dice.
6.
What's that?
It's a 6.
It's a 6.
If it's just a
So you, misty step, you appear on top of the next building and you start to head in the direction that she went. You jump from the roof of the inn, intending to make what you gauge to be about a 6-foot gap between two buildings over to the next building to head off in the direction. As you land, however, the early morning kind of frost, which has now begun to melt, creating like a wet sheen on the roof of these buildings. Your foot just goes out from under you, and you basically like swing for a second, trying to keep your balance, and then backwards off the side of the building. You take 8 bludgeoning damage, and like the wind just like goes out of you. Luckily, you land in.
And 14 piercing damage because you landed on a spiky fence.
No, luckily you land in like a heap of garbage, which keeps you from breaking your spine as you hit the ground. But you do fall about 30 feet to the ground.
You're just gonna be Walter the Broken. Invent the wheelchair to
Fish
get
me,
around.
Henrietta. I need help.
All right, so top of the order, Alar. You see,
How far into the alley did I get? Just out of curiosity.
you're like halfway. You're not in her alley.
Okay.
You're in like the next closest alley to the inn. About halfway down that one.
Did
So
we see that?
No, but you guys all pretty much heard it.
Damn it.
I like to think that we were just standing there and you just hear like, and the two of us just like, Walter.
So Alar, coming back to you. You are so you went basically like the other way around. So you see about 60, maybe 65 feet down. You see the hooded figure of Rana emerge from an alley and turn away from you and start to walk this way. At the same time as you see this, you basically hear like from somewhere ahead of you, and you see for like a moment the figure kind of like turns.
I'm doing the same. Like I start heading in her direction because that's toward the noise as
Yeah.
well.
So what are you doing with your turn? She's kind of like, she looks around. She's continuing to move, but you see like she heard the noise.
No. I'm doing since I was already moving that way. I quicken my steps slightly because and I will, as I pass the alleyway, look over, see Walter.
Spread eagle in a pile of garbage between two.
There's no time for garbage angels.
And just kind of shake my head and just keep on walking at a normal pace. I'm just gonna continue to trail her.
You just like, just leave me here.
No. I make
leave me.
no acknowledgement of Walter. If Walter sees me, I'm not and says something. I'm not acknowledging. It's just
I'm not sure I can see anything but like trash and stuff.
so.
You're also
And
disguised.
just yes. So it's I'm trying to act like a townsperson. Like Okay. Whatever. And, not my business. Not my business, stranger.
Alrighty. So. Kel and Brahm. So Brahm, you have just seen Rana has turned left at the end of the alley that you are standing at the mouth of. And Kel, you're inside the inn.
How?
That's
the alley
about-
before the left.
About 20 feet to the end of the alley. And then, or about, sorry, let me go to that. About 30 feet to the end of the alley.
Okay, so
Trying to figure out how far she moved.
Move up to just, like, again, the corner.
So your standard movement can get you to the
Yeah.
corner.
And then I'll see what I see before I make a decision.
You like peek in to see?
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead and make a perception check.
That's not going to be great.
Dice jail's full.
That's 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you see that Rana is about 20 feet ahead of you, heading away from you.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to charm person. She needs to be within 30 feet to do it.
Okay.
So she's going to make a
You gotta be able to
wisdom
hear you, right?
save. I don't... I think it's just that I can see. To charm a human, you can see within range, so I just have to...
There's a vocal component to it, so you have to like.
Yeah, focus on that.
I guess she also, yeah.
Does that mean that she has to hear it, or just that it has to be said?
Could you like whisper it?
It doesn't say they have to hear it. At least not online.
Okay. I mean, go ahead. So she's gonna make a wisdom save.
Yes. Hopefully she's not too wise.
What? Oops, Jesus. What is your spell save?
14.
14. Okay. Let's see what her wisdom is.
Crap.
Wisdom saves. Okay, so you cast the magic out, muttering the spells and doing the motions. Feel the magic kind of go forward.
But I have no indication.
You have no way of knowing like what it did, as you've not made contact with her in any way.
I'm gonna call out, hey, Rana, wait up!
She turns around.
I'm standing like in the alley.
Yeah, you're kind of like. I don't know. She sort of looks at you for a second, and she has like a suspicious look, as she's never met you before.
Yeah.
She continues to like start to turn and back away, very suspiciously looking at you.
Listen, I say, I got something you might be interested in.
Okay. Let's see what happens on her turn. Kel, anything you're doing?
If she made the save, she perceives me as friendly.
The uniform, Rogers and the boys, didn't wear any kind of uniform, did they? Okay. I just didn't follow us in.
Should we go back out?
We think we can find them. Let's go look. I'm gonna go outside and look for people.
Okay.
There's no one there.
Make a perception check as you head outside.
7.
Luckily, Osrius is very large.
I mean, how can you not notice me?
And he is still at the corner of. He's like 2 buildings down, sort of at the corner of an alleyway. You see him as he's like he's just about to get ready to start moving. It looks like, and you just like can catch sight of him, sort of in your like rush in the kind of the early morning haze. If not for the fact that he's twice as tall as anybody else and like 3 times as wide, you maybe would have not seen him. But It's pretty hard to miss otherwise.
And it looks like he's about to start down.
It looks like he's about to head an alleyway this way.
Is there another alley or road that is parallel to that one?
So you're like on the patio basically of the inn. You can go about 15 feet forward and cut this in the same direction.
Yeah.
In like a parallel alley.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will start doing that.
Okay. So like 30 feet of movement will basically move you to the center of the alleyway between the inn and the next building over.
Yep.
Right where Walter is laying a pile of garbage on his back.
I don't think I noticed him. He's just walking by.
Okay. Alright, so that's Kel and Brom. Nula, what are you doing?
Can I take one last glance to see if anyone noticed us coming in?
Sure.
17.
The individual behind the bar definitely like looked up, and you see him sort of like a little bit quirk an eyebrow as like you guys come in and then just begin to like turn around and leave again. But he doesn't seem to be taking any other special note other than like, well, that was weird. You think probably some of the other patrons like glanced in your direction, but nobody seems to be either intently looking at you or intently not looking at you in a way that would pique your suspicion.
Okay. Then I'm going to hurry after Kel.
Alrighty.
Do I catch up to him to the point where I notice Walter?
Oh yeah, easily. Your 30 feet of movement will get you about right about the same place. Right up to about, you like kind of walk up, Kel is like heading down. You see like a hand like
I know that hand.
Can I just reach over and grab the hand and like pull him out of the trash?
Yeah. Walter, you're like hauled to your feet.
Thank you.
Do you need healing? Alright.
I just need a second.
I like
Play on hands doesn't work on an ego.
I was gonna say, you can't heal dignity.
You can't heal my pride.
I'm gonna like start dusting him off, but I'm using way too much force. Like practically
Alright.
pushing him over.
Alright, Oz, you're just
Just
bitch slapping him around.
Just 2 more bludgeoning damage. That's fine.
What are you doing, Oz?
Looking down the alleyway.
You see Brom is at the
like,
other end of the alley, like doing this and calling out.
Right. And I'll keep where I am for now. Holding an action that if she runs down the alleyway, I can like grab her up where I am right now.
She'd be running well away from where you are.
Well, if just
You're
like
at the
if she
opposite
gets
end of the block.
yeah,
You're
like
like-
if she gets like
This is the layout. You're here.
yeah.
Brom is here. She's here going this way.
Yeah, but if she comes down and there's something that goes on to where she
Just
comes in my
if she
general
happens
direction,
to come back this way.
yeah,
Okay.
come back this
problem.
way, I can just like
Gotcha.
maybe grab her up.
Okay. Alrighty. So Rana, for her part, sort of is looking at you, and you're like, "I got something to show you." And at this point, you see from beneath like the hood that still she has these like oddly, almost like cat eyes in the dark. They glow a little bit. You see like the eyes narrow, and she books it directly into the alley. Off, she's been heading like down the street, like the next street over. She now books it basically like that way.
God damn it.
This time at like a 1.
Now we gotta run.
Walter, you're being smacked around by a dragonborn.
Thank you, Nula. I think I landed in something terrible. Fish around and find my pile of eyes that I still had in a pocket that I definitely just landed on. Way rotting. Just throw them in the trash. And then try to take off running towards where I thought I saw everybody else go to. I'm gonna dash.
Yeah, so 15 feet will get you to the end of the alleyway, which puts you basically like will run you right up to where like the disguised Alar is on his way, is like passing. You can see ahead about another 50 feet, Brahm, and just a little bit ahead of that, you see like the tail end of like a cloak and a foot of Rana like booking it. So you have two options here. You could basically, you're here,
Yeah.
Brahm's here, Rana just went that way. So you could go this way with the rest of your dash, or you could go that way. Towards like the next street that she's running towards.
I regret this a little bit probably. But I'm going to dash towards Brahm.
Okay.
And as soon
He
as,
gets it
or to not like to where the alley is, if I can make it all the way to that alley.
You're remaining 45 feet of your we have 60 feet, right?
I have 60 feet,
So
so
50, 15. Yeah, your remaining 45 feet gets you like up to Brahm, basically.
okay. So I couldn't then Misty step down the alley to cut her off.
No, you don't have visual
Okay,
down
no
the alley.
problem. Yeah, I'll just book up the Brahm then.
Okay. All right. So you get up to.
So if you go that way, you could Misty step to her. Because you'll cut her off. Because he only has to go a little bit to
I
go.
mean, I've never been in this town.
The Misty,
you
you
can
can
see
only
her
Misty
down the
step.
alley.
You can only Misty step 30 feet though.
Oh.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really get any closer. You might get in visual, but you'd probably be further away.
It effectively gives me like 90-foot movement as long as I can go in a straight line. But if I don't know where they're going, I don't know this town.
Right.
So
Okay. Eli. So, you see basically Walter rounds the corner, running towards Brahm, as Brahm is like kind of doing his thing, and then Rana runs, and you see Brahm like shit, and Rana has that way, and you're here.
Okay. I am going to dash parallel to her.
Okay.
And while I'm between the two buildings, presuming there's nobody else also in that alley, I am going to cast Disguise Self again and change my appearance. This time, going with black hair and a different set of clothes. And when I get to the end of that, just before I get to the end of that street, I'm going to slow to a walk and turn left.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me. Okay.
And for the music. Not much better.
So, you come out into the next street, and you see Rana she basically went down the side alley and started backtracking, trying to throw off pursuers probably. So she's actually, as you come into the alley, you see her. She's actually running towards you right now.
Okay, that's fine.
So she's probably about 30 feet from you at this point.
Alright. Well, I've taken my 2 actions, so I'm just turning in that direction and maybe just, kind of eyes narrowing slightly in confusion, like, why is someone running this way? Just...
Okay. Alrighty. Kel and Brahm.
I mean, I have to dash just to get to the end of the alley where Braun is, right?
Yeah, you'd actually, from where you are, because you're still like halfway down that first alley, it'll take you 15 to get to the end of there. You wouldn't even be able to reach Brahm from where you are.
Disguise Self a bonus action?
It's an action. I just have the bonus action being able to dash as a rogue.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna do.
Also ballooned.
Okay, so you want to dash towards Brahm.
Yeah.
Alright, so you basically head out of the alley as you see like Alar or disguised Alar goes that way. You go this way. So you're here. Alar was here. Alar has started running this way.
Yep.
And you're going like this.
Yep.
And you can get to like about there. Within like 15 feet or so of Brahm.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. And what are you doing, Brahm?
I'm going to step out into the alley where she ran.
Okay. She's not in sight when you pop up into that corner. She's already rounded a corner in some direction.
Do I see Alar?
No. So you are now here. She was here and went this way. You have now stepped to here. She's already gone from the other end
So-
of that alley.
Do I reasonably know to keep going?
I mean, you know she ran
Okay.
this way
so I'll
down
go
this
the next,
alley. Yes.
like the next little.
Okay.
How
Alright.
much movement would that?
Take you about 10 to get to the end there. You will have to dash to get all the way to the next street over.
Okay.
But with your dash, you basically burst out into the next street, and as you look, go ahead and make a perception check. Should put some fucking
17.
All right, so you quick look, and as you turn, you see the flight of Rana heading back the direction you guys came.
And do I see Alar?
You see somebody.
Just go. Oh yeah.
No.
Alright. That's all I can do.
Should be exciting music. I forgot.
What that is?
Alrighty. So that brings us to Nula.
I'm going to run straight, so I'm not going to turn, but I'm going to go straight to the end of it.
Yep, your dash will get you about to where Alar is.
Okay. Do I see her then?
Make a perception check.
15.
Yep. He's running in your direction. Osrius and Rana's turn. Osrius, what are you doing? So you can kind of hear the pursuit is has picked up speed. You start hearing heavier footfalls, and it sounds like it's moving away from you at this point.
Okay. Can I guess which alleyway Brahm went down? Because if I'm at the other end,
from where you were, you did see him go down to here and then go that way.
Okay.
At the least.
well then I'm just going to take. If I saw him go down that one alleyway, I'm going to run to the other alleyway, adjacent to that one. So, if he's going to run to that one,
You're gonna go that way.
Yeah, to that.
And your full dash is how far?
80.
Okay. 80 feet. 80 feet will get you about here.
Alright.
Alrighty. Rana is kind of running. You see her, Alar. She looks at you. Again, suspicion, but not immediate recognition. But as Nula comes around the alleyway, she almost hunches low. And you guys hear her. Can't make out the specifics of it, but it sounds like she says something. And she casts her hands out around her. And basically from this, with her as the central point, this just billow of thick, dense, opaque fog just erupts in this area, covering the entire corner where she is in all of the various side streets. And you cannot see her. That is what she does for her turn, which brings us to Walter. So Walter, from where you are standing, Brahm just went a little bit forward and ran down an alley. Osrius just ran past behind you and went the other way down the alley on basically both sides of the same building, heading for the next side street over.
So they're clearly going the other direction.
So you're basically here. Brahm went that way. Osrius went that way. Both around like this building.
I'm gonna put my hand in my face for a second and then use my action to resummon my familiar out of her pocket dimension.
Alright.
And then
Morgan
I'm
Pierce.
going to have her dash up and over the buildings towards
Okay.
the direction opposite. Like towards where I think
everybody's
that,
running.
Where it would
Yeah.
where it was running.
What's Morgan's
her flying speed
flying
is
speed?
60 feet.
60.
So her flying speed is 60 feet. So
She has 120 of a dash.
120 dash. So
Easily gets up and kind of just above this area. Basically in time to like look down and see a bunch of members of your party converging on a figure, which then like becomes the central point of a large obscuring cloud of fog.
For myself, for my movement, I'm gonna just move 30 feet in the other direction. In the direction towards where Oz had just looked.
Where Oz went. Okay. Yes, you can actually get like fairly close to like up to Oz. As his dash basically took him to like the middle of that, and you were much closer when you started, so you're able to like kind of follow right behind him. Okay, top of the order. So, Alar, about 30 feet in front of you, there is like the beginning of just a wall of roiling fog that you cannot see through.
Okay. From memory, there.
From memory, she was heading directly at you,
Okay.
and there is another alley this like leading this way that is closer to her than it is to you.
Okay. Bonus action. Casting minor illusion, and it's just a voice going, "What the bloody hell is it?" and dashing this way
towards the next street.
but stopping short of before hitting the side street.
Okay. Alrighty, so you are there. Alrighty. Kel and Brahm. So Brahm, you're actually like in the fog cloud because you were close enough to her. So you just like can barely see your hand in front of your face at this point.
Can I hear anything?
Make a percentage check.
Natural 20.
You hear the rapidly fleeing footfalls of your quarry basically head up towards like where you estimate the end of this building, this alley was, and begin to head away from you. Basically like hooks a left and starts heading further, continually further away from the
Is
dock.
there a sooner left that I can take?
No.
Than she took? Okay, so I will follow after her.
Okay.
How much movement does that take?
Well, actually, make another perception check as you start to run.
16.
You run about 20 feet, and you can just make out the act of having to like hunker down and cast that spell slowed her down for a second and allowed you to gain distance on her. You see her as she has like picked up the momentum and started to go again.
But I haven't
Close.
used dashed.
You have not dashed yet. You are close enough that you could theoretically, like, if you had magic to stop her, or you could theoretically like try and dive for her legs if you want to.
Okay, here's the thing. Do I attempt to dive and possibly blow that roll? Or do I attempt Tasha's hideous laughter and she makes the save?
I think we all
I'm gonna go with brute strength.
No, that's alright.
I have no luck.
So you have cancer?
I have.
She did already. I mean, she did already like shrug through one of your
Yeah.
charm
Linebacker.
spells.
I have no luck with getting people to.
Okay, make a strength-based attack roll.
You can do this.
Oh, fuck.
Is that the one?
No, it's,
Hey, we're not worried about that so much anymore. We need a bigger dice jail.
that would be no. It's just a 4.
A 4?
Yeah, I rolled a 4 and I have a +0.
You you just leap for her legs and your hands close on air behind her and you hear her continue to move away from you.
And that was my action.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you're prone right
You're
now.
also prone for next round.
And that's that's what he's doing right
literally
there.
like-
Just on the floor, on the ground, just.
Oh, I was taking.
Whoopsie daisy.
Alrighty, Nula.
She would have made the save anyway.
Possibly.
Oh, Kel, did you not take an action on that turn? Well, what are you doing with your turn?
So I just see a giant alley full of fog, right?
From where you are, yeah, like the other end of the you're on a street now. Down the alley from where you're standing is like the next street over, and that's where the fog just like appeared. So you're like 30 feet from the perimeter of the fog.
So I would like to go past that street and try to find the next one that's parallel to that.
Okay, you would either have to basically run straight through the fog. So like you're here. The fog just appeared here. So you can run straight this way, or if you're trying to get over to this street, you'd have to go like up and around or down and around.
Can I take that first left?
You're like right here, right?
And the fog.
The fog is here on this street. So the next street over from like where you are is this one where the fog is. So if you're trying to get to like the next street, that would be this one. So like, and you would feasibly have seen like she was basically here when the fog started.
Which way did she go to get there?
She was coming from this way, and then the fog like
Right. So then I want to keep going down this
So
way.
you're gonna go down.
to the next cross street.
to here.
Yes.
Yeah, easy enough. Okay. Alrighty. So as you come to the next cross street, you kind of like you come down and you look down that way. You can actually see Nula and Alar like on the next street over down that alley. Or Nula rather is on the corner. Alar is further down.
I also wouldn't recognize him.
Oh, he's a person. You see a guy.
You see it go.
He is like in the process of like running down that street though, as you come there.
Man,
So it's
that
like,
guy takes his
that
fitness
guy is
seriously.
having a real good workout in the morning.
Brent's going up here.
Alrighty. So now Nula.
This is a horrible game of Pac-Man.
Kinda a little bit.
Would I have recognized that the person who made the comment was ALR?
The comment was actually like a disembodied voice. You can make a wisdom check to see if you see through his illusion.
Nah.
So as he like runs, you kind of see him like some gestures, and then this like voice emanates out, and you're like, oh, that guy just did a spell. That's
No one talks like
Let's
that.
say-
probably my dude.
That's it.
I'm gonna follow him
Okay.
wherever he's running to. Because I'm assuming that he saw where she went off to.
All right. So you can, if you, with 30 feet of speed, you can get to where you see him standing without dashing, and then you have additional stuff you can do.
Because I can keep going, right?
You would
Where I'm
basically, so from where you are, if you head to him, there is like a solid wall of a building there, so you would either have to go left or right from the end of this alleyway.
Fine.
You're going from here to here with 30 feet, and then you have you have more movement you can do. You have an option. You can keep going one of these
I'm
directions.
gonna go up.
Okay. So you want to dash full 60?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So that gets you to about the midway point of this next alley here.
Do I see anything?
Not quite yet. But you're about to. Osrius, what are you doing first?
So being in that alleyway,
You are like you saw
Do we see her then the
in
fog?
the cross street from here. You saw her like enter the cross street and like poof,
And then
appear in the
just
fog,
disappear.
and you don't know what happened since then.
Okay, so but I did see then the alleyway that is directly in front of me.
You saw
before
that
she
there's
got
like
through the fog.
she entered basically a four-way intersection of these streets and alleyways. So there is a like path straight
ahead of me. That I would
she
know
was
that
going
it's, like,
this way,
straight.
but you know that there is like a cross that you can keep running.
Is the fog all like filled up the whole street there?
As soon as you enter into it, it comes a few feet into this alleyway. As soon as you enter into it, you're not going to be able to see it.
So I'm just gonna go dashing straight through into the other alley and then
Alright.
out down.
Make a dexterity check.
Oh, that's good. 18.
All right. So you haul down this alleyway. As you cross over, you can just make out like the murky outlines at the end of the buildings, giving you a gauge of like you've crossed over into the street. You keep running, and just in time, you catch the prone form of Brahm on the ground. And you just are like, whoa! And you leap over Brahm, almost tripping on him in the fog. As you're like, yeah! Over top of him. I need you to make another dexterity check.
That'll be 12.
Okay. The next thing that happens, as you as you jump over Brahm, you turn back to continue your run, just as another figure begins to loom out of the fog, and you see, reacting to your heavy footfalls, the figure turns, deep hood, and you just catch the glint of one of those sort of glowy cat-like eyes, as you guys just yeah! She has just enough time to try to start to dodge, but you didn't even see her, so you basically just run into her, and both of you guys topple to the ground.
Pounded 3 feet in the dirt.
It's just a train coming out of the fog. Just.
Alrighty, at this point,
It
was her turn. She has now been knocked to the ground, so she's gonna stand up, and basically at the end of this alleyway where she is gonna use what movement she has. She runs to the scrambles away from you, runs to the end of the alleyway, and basically skids to a stop when she sees that the building along this alley is one long building. And she looks left and right, and basically sees Nula is 10 feet from her, right at the end of this hallway, coming quick.
Punch her in the face.
She actually just skids to a halt, and you see her catch your eye, and she just goes.
Yeah.
She stops running. So we're out of initiative. Behind her, the fog cloud starts to
So I can see where she is now?
it dissipates, it clears. Osrius, you your sight clears. You see her basically standing another 15 feet ahead of you, with her arms raised like this. Brahm, she's at the next cross street, about 30 feet from you. Walter, you are behind Brahm as you see him getting up off the ground. So basically, at this point, everybody is in line of sight of her, putting her hands up, except for Kel, who is one block over from where Alar is at the corner of the mysterious man is at the corner of a
Running man.
yeah, the running man.
I'm just gonna have Morgan circling around over top of where she's at. Just as like a signal to like recognize there
I'll
where she
get
is.
up and I'll like run away. I had her. It was only a matter of time. It was all part of the plan. The fly was in my web.
Sure it was, buddy. Sure it was.
All right.
Hey, you only helped by accident.
Still help.
I thought you said the name of this group was Rogers and the Boys.
It is.
She's a part of
She
it.
has like put her hands out at this point. She's just staring at you guys.
She doesn't speak much. We found that out.
I see.
Quit digging holes in the tabletop of my table. The legend of this tabletop is that Russell is wrecking it.
This hole was here.
Anyway,
Maybe we can find a place where we can chat.
Well, we were going to see about rooms.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I like the.
It would have been real good if he did it, and it was just like, okay, but who are you?
I don't know this man.
Bad touch, stranger danger.
Alright.
Alright, so we were getting rooms at the B,
Drunken bee.
I'm going to drag her all the way across town.
or we could go to the other tavern where we were.
Well, we can talk to her right now in this alley.
How that works.
This is a fairly decent thoroughfare, so we might not want to move off.
Is there any other people in this alley?
it's still pretty early morning. There's nobody around that you see. You are on a street at this point.
We're on the street.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on. Let's move this off the street.
Alright.
It sort of looks at you. It follows along to your lead, kind of moves where you're going.
I'm gonna walk behind her. Be like, move it. Wait, what?
I'm assuming we're walking back to the second tavern.
We can also.
I don't think we want to have this conversation in a public place.
So any of the houses look abandoned or empty?
I also don't want her to know where we plan on sleeping.
That's also a good point. So, Alar will come to a stop in the middle of the alley. Okay, so where is it?
Empty your pockets, please.
I doubt she's gonna have it
Mm,
on her.
probably not. But
Cast
I
detect
don't-
magic with my Eldritch Sight.
Okay.
See, like, just take a look over, hop over, and see if there's anything magically sticking out about her.
Sure. Let me see if she has anything magic on her
Magically
right now.
sticking out.
Or not magically sticking out. Look. She could be in the Spike's face.
Maybe she is.
I would judge.
The boys.
Magical.
Yes, you do see she has one piece of magic on her person currently. It is a what appears to be a small circular, no bigger than that item, tucked within like sort of the kind of the pocket folds of the front of her robes.
I'm just gonna walk up to her and just poke at that pocket, and then just put my hand out.
Are you physically trying to touch her? Or are you just pointing at the
I'm
pocket?
gonna point at the pocket and then just put my
Okay.
hand out.
So, in order here, where is it? You pointed at the thing. There was one other thing somebody said to her, right?
I asked her to empty her pockets.
Empty your pockets. Okay.
Specifically, that pocket.
That one.
She looks at you all for a brief moment and says, speaking for the first time since you guys have any of your encounters with her, she says, "And if I choose not to cooperate,
slowly pull out Plan A.
Wait, was that the crowbar or was that the dagger? I can't remember.
That's
One of two crowbars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plan
Plan B is a different crowbar.
Plan B is the second crowbar.
Oh god. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe you don't like your kneecaps. So she, as you kind of like pull this, she looks at you, and you see there is from these like kind of orangey. As she turns her head a little bit, just again like sort of like a cat, where like the dim light catches against something in the back of her eye. There's sort of this like orangish, greenish, reflective light. But you do see there is like a steeliness in that gaze, as you sort of threaten with violence. Something goes hard behind her eyes in a. I guess the best way to describe it would be like a response to long familiarity with violence that resonates with you. The look that goes into her eyes as you like vaguely suggest you're gonna hit her with a crowbar is one that you are familiar with.
Is she like human looking except for eyes?
She's
cat
vaguely
eyeballs?
human looking, but she's got that hood like pulled deep over her head.
I'm going to slip the crowbar in.
So as you reach for her, make a. You're gonna make a touch based attack roll. So it's actually we'll call it a dexterity based attack roll.
19.
Okay. So you slip the crowbar away, and you see she sort of follows it, and then as you go to reach up, she almost recoils, but you the tips of your fingers get onto the hood, and the violence with which she pulls away from you actually causes it to flop back. So what you see when the hood falls away from her face, she is, for any of you who may have encountered them before, she is a tiefling.
Ooh.
She has a sort of a crimson hue to her skin. She has very bony and pronounced cheekbones and ridges above her eyebrows. On the top of her head, there are two gruesome, jagged stumps where you can just see the base of a pair of horns where they had come out of her head, but it looks like they were basically just snapped off. There are she is bald otherwise, and you see on her cheeks, on the sides of her head, up her scalp, and down, disappearing back the back of her neck into where the tight robes and bindings cover the rest of her exposed skin. You see that her skin is covered. There are thin, slightly paler, puckered lines of skin in these ritualistic runes and symbols covering her, where it basically looks like a knife was taken to her, and just these patterns were carved into her her head and her face. Whether intentional or not is unclear. But there are patches where you can see it doesn't look like the cuts necessarily healed properly. As some of them look a little gnarly. And as the hood falls back, she you see her jaw just clamps shut. You hear the audible click of her teeth, and she just stares you down, almost you get the sense that she's daring you guys to make a comment about her appearance or her nature.
I'm gonna look her in the eye, and I say, You can cover yourself back up if you want, but I think all of us here know about pain. No. Brahm has his sleeves rolled up, but he's got like a leather bracelet that he wears. He'll kind of like slide that up and it shows like the slave's brand mark in the wrist.
She kind of looks. How gracious. Puts her hood back. She kind of looks at you. She's quiet for a moment. I assume you have demands.
Your associates took something that didn't belong to them. And I think you know what we mean. Something from that crypt.
And
And the people you took it from aren't too happy about it.
and
We would see it return to them.
Clearly this one has no inference skills. Yes. They want it back. And we may or may not be charged with doing that.
I do not have it.
Well,
Insight?
if you don't have it, then maybe you'll tell us who does. And where we can find them. Like, what were the other two?
Roger and Carlisle.
Roger and Carlisle.
Rogers and Carlisle. Yes.
It's dealing with us. We're dealing with an offending home guard, an angry inquisitor, and the dwarves of the Ujur Mountains.
Look, we just...
She sort of like rolls her eyes
We just
at
want
the
the
mention of
thing back.
dwarves. She says, and if I agree,
Then the three of you walk.
I can contact Rogers. You talk to him. This is all I do.
That's all we need.
She reaches into that pocket that you had seen. She pulls out what looks like a common gold dragon, a common coin. She takes it in her fingers. And kind of rubs against it like this. And after a moment, she says, Rogers, the betrayers from Stone Mill have come. They wish to speak. And she says something that is kind of not in common, and is sort of quick. She says, it kind of sounds like Bokitechnia. Good yet.
Is it Celestial, Draconic, Dwarvish, or Elvish?
No.
Okay.
Covered mouth.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't orcish.
I have no mission undercommon that have not been mentioned yet.
No, it is not Gnomish or Undercommon.
Just in case.
Pretty sure it's not giant either.
It's not giant.
Sounded Russian.
Yes.
How strange, it sounded Russian. After a moment, he says, you will meet.
Where?
When?
He says, you choose location.
Probably want to have this somewhere a little private.
Or do we definitely want to have it somewhere public?
These are the questions.
I could use a drink.
So, Oasis. Oasis.
Rubs the coin again. Rogers. A shitty bar near docks. We are close. Soon. A moment later, they will come. She returns the coin to her pocket.
Nifty trick.
How do we make sure that we know they're gonna come?
It's up to
We don't.
Morgan.
No, we have absolutely no proof that they will. On the other hand, I don't think they're going to leave you out to dry.
No. Also, they do not back out on deals, and they do not kidnap. So perhaps trust them.
I was part of no deal.
No
Lady.
deal was made.
Don't recall us making a deal.
No deal was made.
This one did.
We did make a deal.
No, they said
We said we'd meet him at the bridge.
they said if
we
we
said
agreed to meet
if
them
we
at the bridge.
agreed, we would meet them.
Yeah, we never agreed. They put out the proposition and they said if we agreed, we would meet them. But we never agreed.
You guys kind of like.
We are technically
You
correct.
guys kind of like explain this to her, and she just sort of like
We are technically correct, and that's the most important kind of
looks
correct.
at you guys with this like kind of face on, but says nothing
Look,
further.
my middle name is Loopholes, okay?
Really?
Thought it was Horatio.
Abraham
That's
Pulse.
Abraham Loopholes Replock.
I would feel much more comfortable if we took any weapons that our new friend Rana has.
You get them back after the transfer.
She's gonna put
I'm
a
still-
obscene amount of weapons out
Yes,
of
so
her.
Walter is still absolutely has his hand out.
Components, weapons.
So she kind of looks
Was
at
it
you
the
guys.
coin that he
Yes.
sent?
Yes.
Like, he has not put his hand back down. I have because I got tired.
She like sort of looks at you guys. There is no choice, I suppose.
Not really.
Yo, you have a choice.
She begins. The robes that she wears are relatively like they're not like super tight, but they are like fairly form fitting. It's a lot of like cloth with like wrappings and bindings to keep like all of her skin covered and stuff. So there's not a lot of like. It's a little surprising as she starts like reaching into like folds of the robes and just like, pulling things out. It's not an obscene amount of weapons. She does hand you guys a small like hand crossbow.
Nothing in her pockets.
Of course,
knives
right.
and lint.
She withdraws a short sword, a dagger, and a she like as she hands you these things, she kind of like you see her pause for a second, and she goes, and she reaches like, and she pulls what at first looks like just like a long sort of narrow reed, but as she holds it out and like hands it to you and you take it, you look at it, you realize that it is a blowgun, basically that would just like fire a dart.
Sneaky.
And as Walter has like his hand in her face, she says, "I would keep coin if it's all the same."
It's clearly your communication link with them. If it's all the same, I'd like to not get jumped.
It is not all the same. It cannot be used except how I did, as you saw. You would know if I attempt to use it. It has sentimental value.
Can I tell if she's just being sketchy?
Make an insight check.
Perception check, 19. I point to her boot and I go, and that one.
What was your insight?
2.
She doesn't.
As far as I'm aware,
I mean, she doesn't seem to be lying to you guys. She seemed pretty honest when she said, like, look, you would see if I tried to use it again. I just don't want to give it to you. It's basically like, it seems fairly straightforward. As you go, like, and you're like, and that one, she goes, like, she, like, unlaces her boot, and she just, like, throws the boot at you.
Why do you need her boot?
And you, like, turn it over. There turns out not to be a knife in it. She's just like,
Give her a boot bag.
You don't need the boot.
Yeah, I was bluffing on that one.
Yeah, clearly. Give her the boot.
takes it, laces it back up.
Do you have any spell components on you?
She
You'd
does.
be surprised how many times that works, though.
She does like unbuckle a thin like belt strap with there's like a pouch on one hip that she like hands over as you guys kind of open up. It has a bunch of like odd spell components, like some powders and leaves and stone bits of odds and ends that you would use for casting spells.
This is nice. This is Igni and Meg, isn't it? As he's holding the hand crossbow.
Yes, it is.
Don't worry, you're gonna get it
I
back.
look forward to being able to return these things to you when everything goes smoothly.
We shall see.
Oh boy.
Well, for everybody's sake, it better go smoothly.
Who's hoping?
Shall we?
All right, so
Should we take the break there?
8:30. Yeah, we can take a break now. Alrighty.
Break.
What's your sleight of hand?
Kidnapping.
20 ALR conceals the
That's right.
the dagger, the short sword, and the.
All right. Okay, so thank you guys for sticking with us. We've been floating back and forth. I think we were around 10 at one point. We're around 5 right now. Spread the word. Tell your friends. We got
Get to
modes.
20.
Got to get to 20.
Do it.
We're gonna take about a 5-minute break, and then we will return to see what happens as the party has now taken Rana into their custody and are on their way to a meeting with the other
Rogers and the
2/3
boy.
of Rogers
Rogers
and
the
his
boy.
remaining boy.
Turn your mic in the
Stick around. We will see you shortly. Tell your friends. If there's more people here when we come back, I will love you forever.
Get a mug.
See you soon.
Bye.
We'll be back. Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was just drinking from my Tabletop Legends mug.
Really?
Available now for purchase online at marblemoonstudio.com.
Is that
Or
Dungeon Master?
this is my specific Dungeon Master one, but there are normal ones. There are also ones that don't say Tabletop Legends, if you're interested in those. But please check those out. And also, please spread the word and tell people to get on and watch the second half of the show. We're creeping up a little bit in viewers there. If we can pull in another 10 viewers, we will hit our mark and we will give away one of these bad boys.
I just tweeted it.
In Osria's fashion, I broke my luck.
Did you
Did
really?
you break your real one?
That's the one I broke.
You have like 15 other ones. You could have just broken those.
I know. I was really sad when I broke mine. I was at work, it dropped, it broke, and I was like, well, I guess that's...
Well, you do have a pretty good in with the people who make the mugs.
We think we can arrange to get Osrius another mug. Anyway, so welcome back. We return as the party is entering into the dockside tavern known as the Quanter's Oasis, with 1/3 of Rogers and the boys in tow. Rana, the tiefling, some sort of magic user, where they have called for a meeting between Rogers and the boys and our adventuring party. So, you guys enter into the Quanter's Oasis. There are a few more people in the tap room at this point. The bartender, the half-elven bartender, still behind the bar, kind of takes note of you guys coming in. A few scatter people having drinks, having breakfast. There are that same group of 4 people are like kind of getting close to finishing their meal. Walter, you recognize the outfit that they're wearing. as basically the colors of couriers of Moxham Trading and Mercantile. So, what are you guys doing?
If there is a large table available,
Preferably in a corner.
Yeah. The tap room is not excessively large, but you can kind of tuck away as best you can and get, put kind of 15, 20 feet-ish between you and the next closest patron, so as long as everybody keeps their voices down, you can probably have a fairly private conversation.
It's all like 9 in the morning.
As we pass by the guys from Moxley, I'm just gonna just whisper down, like, keep an eye out for us.
So they sort of like, you see one of them kind of looks, and they look at you, and they sort of like exchange a glance, look at each other, questioningly, and kind of look back to you.
Just show them my
Subtly, then he looks down, sees your arm, looks back at your face. Gives a curt nod, and they go back to their food.
carry on.
So you guys kind of find your table in the corner. A few minutes later, a tavern server comes around. Appears to be probably no more than, you guess, maybe 15 or 16 human boy. Walks up to the table and says, welcome to the Conter's Oasis. Voice cracks. What can I get for you folks?
round of ales, and
Do you have any coffee?
Of course.
I'll take some of that.
Round of ales, one coffee, anything else?
Root beer for me?
On unusual request, I'll see if they have any.
What kind of tea you got?
Tea flavored? I can ask.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay, I'll. Right. I mean, anything else?
no, that'll do it for now. Thanks.
Right. I'll be back in a jiff then. Sort of like
Wow.
scampers off.
That poor, poor, stupid child.
Alright. So a couple minutes go by. The tap room fills up a little more. Few people leave. You notice, Walter, your fellow employees of the Moxham Trading Company seem to have finished eating, but they are kind of hanging about at their table. A few minutes later, the boy comes back with a big tray. He puts the tray down and starts distributing tankards of ale. He gives you a very dusty sealed bottle. There you are. And he kind of leans in. He says, "They told me not to say anything, but that bottle's been in the bottom of the... It's real old."
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Just be... Okay. He gives you your coffee, and he says, for the tea, we have 2 varieties of black tea. One from here in Mithlinde, and one that is out of Valand. We have a green tea imported from Honorand.
Well, you gotta make it hard for the boy.
And we have, if you are interested, we do have a special shipment of a fermented tea that is imported from the Iolaquis Isles south, in the south.
What was that third one?
Green tea.
We have 2 varieties of black tea. One is from here in Mithlinde. One is
Bro, pick
from
a tea.
Valand. We also have
What do you have?
Easy.
Fermented tea. He has a
Just
fermented
green
tea.
green tea. Green tea from Honor End. Green tea from Honor End was the third one. Yes.
Just bring me a cup of hot water.
Right away, sir. He walks away.
You had better tip him.
Bro, was that necessary?
Yes.
I don't actually think it was.
So he kind of disappears.
Can I pop open my root beer?
Yeah. So you kind of wedge a claw underneath there. Seals. It's a promising sign that it does make sort of the when you open it. You do a little sniff. Smells okay.
Smash comes into a little vomiting in the alley.
As you take a sip of it, it's a little watery, as if
Water
some
got
of the
in it.
like syrup, like the syrup that they make these sorts of drinks with, has like maybe settled a little bit, but it's okay.
You know, take 30
Or we'll
poison.
move one of the tankards in front of Rana. Take one.
She kind of nods in your direction, but she makes nothing to drink. So after you guys get your drinks, Brahm harasses a server, and a few additional minutes pass by.
Did he come back with the hot
He
water?
does eventually.
So when he comes back, Braun will be like, pulls out like a little, little pouch and like dumps his own tea leaves.
He sets the water down and he goes away, but you do, as you like put your tea leaves and you look up, you see that like 15 feet away, like across the tap room, he's like standing behind another table, and like they're telling him what they want, but he's just like looking at your tea. He sort of like turns and goes back about his business.
He's young, gotta learn about the ways of life.
Not to retcon, I would have left Morgan outside.
Not a problem.
On the roof. So when they catch
She's
that
in the
for us,
tea.
She is in the tea.
She's into the tea. So, after an appropriate amount of time waiting, the doors to the tavern open, and the familiar figure of Rogers and the hulking figure of Carlyle enter the bar. They kind of scan. Rogers catches your guys' group, taps Carlisle. The two of them walk over to your table.
How's it going, friends?
Morning.
Care for some ale?
Hi. As you guys try to agree, he kind of takes you guys in for a minute, ignores all of you, and turns to Rana. And folds his arms. Rana? You alright? She looks at him. Nah. They didn't hurt you? Yet. Alright.
Start mocking me? Slowly, like, and he comes out.
Rogers pulls out a chair and like sits. Carlisle stays standing behind him, like. And he sits down and he says, "Okay. Here's the thing. Back in Stone Mill, we generously extended to you an offer of professional cooperation. Work together on a job rather than be at odds. Pretty quickly, you guys ratted us out to the Inquisitor and threw us under the bus. So, we did the job on our own and got out of Dodge. Now, you've tracked this down. You've kidnapped one of my boys. I can only assume to ransom her back for what we pulled out of that tomb. So, here's the thing. Our offer of a polite, professional working relationship pretty much went out the window when you guys tried to screw us. Be that as it may. This I find a little less palatable. So, let's be clear. My interest in having any sort of professional relationship, relic hunter to relic hunter with you, has evaporated. And my willingness to continue to conduct ourselves as civil adults is beginning to wear thin. So, I presume this is a shakedown. You want the item, sell it for yourselves, make profit, screw us?
No.
Not the general idea here?
No.
Half right.
We do want the item back, but it's not to sell it off.
You want it for yourselves then?
No.
Give it back to its rightful owner.
And save your neck in the process.
What did you just say to me? And he looks at Ron and he says, "These people serious?" And she kind of like closes her eyes and goes, and he goes, "That's what this is? Oh, Maron! I thought you people was trying to screw us because you were shady assholes.
Well,
This is a moral phallus measuring situation that's happening here."
here's the thing. The whole phallus measuring thing is not even a competition, because I win. Moving on from that.
He like points at you and he goes, "Carlisle begs to differ. Besides the point."
I don't...
Wait a minute.
We don't need
Just
proof. We don't
okay.
need proof.
Okay.
We're not lying.
Everybody, wait a minute. Let me see if I understand the situation here. Your issue is that we what? Defiled a tomb and stole something that did not belong to us? Is that about it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Does the name Tobias Haudashul mean anything to any of you people? Kel and Alar are the only two who might have the knowledge to make this check. It would be a history check.
No.
12.
Okay. So as he,
13.
as he kind of like looks around at the blank stare, he says,
Here's the thing.
"Fair enough. Shush." He says, "Okay, time for a lesson. Don't feel bad. The name is not that well known. He's not that famous. What I am betting that you do know, however, is the spell that purifies food and water. It is ubiquitous in all 5 of the kingdoms. There are literally hundreds of wizards in the employment of every government across Orahul, whose job is only to cast that spell to protect the food supply of their homelands. With me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. What you might not know is that spell was lost some, I don't know, several hundred years ago during the Great Wars. Lost until one Tobias Haudashul, a relic hunter from about 250 years ago, broke into the ruins of a temple and swiped everything that was not bolted to the floor. These things go as these things go. One of those items was, as rumor has it, a tiara of some sort that allowed the wearer to cast said purification spell. The eggheads at the bookkeepers did what the eggheads at the bookkeepers do, studied it, figured out how to replicate it, and now, bada boom, it's everywhere. So follow-up question, how many lives do you think have been improved or even saved by the existence of that spell? Here's a hint. It's a lot.
Oh,
Upwards of 12.
I get this. You're
All because some scumbag relic hunter desecrated a sacred site.
so this is the part where you say, no, we're actually the moral ones. Yes?
Not exactly. I'll be honest here. We make our living finding things and selling them. My point here is that who exactly was what we found in that mausoleum? Who was that helping where it was? The skeleton of the dwarf that it was on?
Not all relics are going to improve the lives of anyone who interacts with them.
Yeah, shit no. Could be an item that makes you fart bubbles for all I know. But that's for all I know. It's not my job to know what it does. It's my job to find stuff and get them to the people who do. That's how the world works. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm surprised that this is news to any of you.
It's not. The part that you're ignoring is that they're not all either good or laughable. Some of them are dangerous and bad.
Sure.
Who's to say that the
I
world is not
assume-
going to be made worse by that being out?
I don't know, you?
Certainly not me. But to pretend that you're doing a service is disingenuous at best.
Furthermore, you damaged a magic item.
Let's get back to that in a minute.
No.
I have another question for you. As you've been so graciously threatening us with the authorities. Item was in the dwarven crypt, yeah? The dwarf did not want to go in and get it. He's a dwarf. They're like that. Do you believe that the existence of a relic inside of a mausoleum in Mythlindian territory was not going to go into the Inquisitor's after-action report? How long do you think had we not got there first until a Mythlindian relic hunting team went in and extracted that item?
Not our problem.
Not
yours, either.
not my problem either.
Alright, here's a question for you. What are you doing with it?
Doing with what we do with everything we get. We're selling it to our buyer. We're relic hunters. This is what we do.
You have a specific buyer.
We have a few we work with. This particular item, yeah, we have a specific buyer.
I assume we're not getting the name.
No, you are not. The crux of my issue here. Oh, and by the way, my point there with the magical item that we destroyed. The magical item that we destroyed was a 7-foot-tall rock monster that tried to kill us. So if you ask me, that town full of dirt farmers, probably better off with that type of thing not functioning within their village. Just one man's opinion.
That would
Make
be
it
a
what you-
very wrong opinion.
I think not. Buddy, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm not going to be intimidated the longer you stare at me. So, here's the thing. The way I see it, we came to that town following leads on relics. Turns out there was leads on 2 relics. Well, one of them was peacefully hanging out in that crypt. The other apparently was summoning zombies that was attacking people. Me and the boys, we have a rule. If we have options, and one of those options is not to mess with things that are summoning zombies and killing people, we go that way. We don't like the nasty semen stuff. Not really our bag. We extracted our artifact, and we will bring it to our buyer. Hopefully, who will learn something of it. If not, me and the boys eat for another couple of months. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the whole relic hunting industry sort of operates on the rule of dibs. How do you think the bookkeepers stay in business, being independent of any organization?
Oh, so you claim to be a member of the bookkeeping?
Oh, hell no! I don't talk to the likes of us. I'm just saying, same rule applies. All the shit that's buried out there in the middle of the jungles and underground and wherever else, artifacts of a time past. Whoever's got the balls and the guts to find it, get their hands on it, rightfully theirs.
Here's the problem. You didn't walk off into the jungle and find some abandoned cave. You went into a town and into a temple that was being watched over by the sexton.
Fair enough.
You didn't take something that didn't mean anything to anyone and had been lost to time. You took something from a sacred place. And you did it while we were there.
True. True. Again, I would argue that until this whole shebang went down, nobody knew it was down there. I would also perhaps question the moral high ground that you people are taking after discussing such investigation with us and then immediately alerting the authorities. As if you were not also planning to take a look for yourselves. If I remember correctly, you were not on the best terms with the Inquisitor yourself when we first met. So, try to look at it from my point of view.
Pass.
We're just trying to eat. We got an item. Took it. We did it, by the way, without hurting anybody. You're welcome.
Nobody's thanking you for that.
I'll certainly thank him for that.
And we went on our way, harming no one.
That's not true.
Who was harmed in the process of our situation?
Sexton Bartok.
Sexton Bartug maybe got his panties knotted in a britch, but he was otherwise unharmed.
You took his stuff. That sounds like harm.
No, we took stuff out of a tomb that was nearby to where he happens to live.
That he was in charge of.
What are you being paid
So-
for this?
Well, that's none of your business.
So I'll say this. We took custody of a person who happened to be nearby to you sometimes. Like, this is not a difficult game to play.
That is where we are at an impasse here. As I said, from my perspective, we are doing our jobs. We offered a friendly opportunity to cooperate with you, and you backstabbed us. And then you followed us and have now committed a kidnapping. Which, in my opinion, perhaps means that the lot of you should evaluate your own opinions of yourselves as the White Knights in this situation. But all of that we could argue all day long. I don't care. where we are comfortably sitting right now, you have one of my people, and we need to figure out how we proceed from this point without going our separate ways. I presume your offer is give you the thing, and you let my person go.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
My counter offer would be release the person that you have illegally abducted, and we go our separate ways without having to have an issue.
Pull out the ruby that I found. Just kind of fidget it around a little bit.
Alternatively, we can say, return the property you've illegally come into possession of, and we'll go our separate ways. Again, we can play these word games all day.
Furthermore, there is still the issue in that the Nithlandian authorities are going to be looking for you.
I think you will find that the complexities of relic hunting law are not going to work out quite so clean-cut in your favor as you are thinking they are. I promise you, I am very well versed. So you will pardon me if your threats of Mythlindian adventuring...
I'm not sure that it's the Mithlindians that you need to worry about. I think it's the dwarves.
well, the dwarves are the dwarves. That's why we don't go into Christ Utah.
You know they're going to Stonewall, right?
I'm not in Stonewall.
You are awfully close by. And the Mithlindians are going to be very interested in negotiating a deal with the dwarves. And it sure would be a shame if your involvement was somehow a part of that.
I am happy to take my chances.
What about you, Carlisle? You happy to take your chances with the dwarves? What about you, Rana? You happy to take your chances with the dwarves?
Carlisle kind of like folds his arms and he goes,
And Rana sort of leans forward a little. I follow the Rogers. Also, you jumped me on the street when I was out for a morning walk, so you will forgive my lack of hospitality.
You guys jumped an old man in his sleep. I feel very little sympathy.
Rogers looks supremely like unconvinced at sort of either your threats of involvement of the authorities or insistence that like he's the bad guy. Not that he thinks he's the good guy. He's perfect. He seems perfectly comfortable with these sort of moral justifications he's made for his actions, and is unimpressed otherwise.
All I'm saying is you're not going to get us to admit that we are in the wrong either. So you can go ahead and cut it out with that.
Okay. Counter offer. You give us what you stole, and we'll give you your person. Or we will beat the ever-loving shit out of you right now.
Ow.
Because we're clearly not getting anywhere.
You're right. Make either an intimidation or a persuasion roll.
Can I help by standing up?
Sure.
Like eating.
Yeah, so make it with advantage.
I'm just gonna stand up. That's all.
Just stare Carlisle in the face.
Yeah, because he's standing right behind him. I'll just stand up too. That's all. I cross my arms too.
Intimidation.
A lot.
+9 intimidation.
And then you get to roll twice.
Well, that was a 12, so 12 +9.
Okay.
Hopefully that.
15!
+9 is 24.
24.
Welcome.
Jeez. How the hell did
Because that's like my whole thing.
Expertise.
Oh, right, bards.
24, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to be on my.
So,
Just tuck it real tight.
oops.
There are 6 of us. Actually, and more. With his, friend.
There's also whatever plan was uttered in whatever language.
At this point, we're all talking in circles.
Yep. So
Yeah, I'm like,
There's nothing else we can
Isn't
do.
no-
Yep.
What are we
no,
gonna give up?
yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna fight him anyway.
Probably.
I was floating the idea of like literally trading him the person and the ruby.
He apparently did not care.
He didn't give a
He
shit.
didn't give a shit about that.
Sorry, he did not.
I also
give a
like the ultimatum of, oh, we will beat the envelope and shit out of you.
So it's time for Plan A.
Yeah, plan A and plan B. Plan C, all of the above.
Food fight.
What am I looking for here? Oh, it's not.
This breaks off. I'm cracking a tankard against Carlisle's head.
I want to go outside and not
I'm just
inside
saying,
a
if,
score
it,
bar.
if it's, I'm not gonna start it. I'm not gonna start it.
There was a man who's ready to attack. I forget the fucking lyrics to that song. Also wrote. Sorry.
Let's see.
Need to
Man
speak
in the
that
back
out
said
first.
everyone
Those are
attack and it turned into
No,
a ball.
I said
Nice.
it earlier when I rolled that 4.
Cut it out in post.
Cut it out.
Where am I? What does he say? What year is this?
What year is it?
Ooh, sneak attack.
Oh, that's not good. That's a lot of
Is it a
dice.
sneak attack for watching all of them?
It's probably not them. Or it's probably
It's
spell.
other people. It might be the other people.
Yep.
Something might
There's
have.
other people?
Something might have happened.
What happened was,
We wait in anticipation.
in a 300-foot radius,
We all give a hug
centered
and we say,
on Osrius,
"No bad."
there was a fireball cast at 9th level.
Alrighty.
Everyone's dead.
What's everybody's hit
Everyone
points?
Oh,
Wait, what?
What's everybody's hit points?
55.
30?
38.
38.
Some
Max HP or current HP?
current HP.
28.
28.
38.
They're also 38.
32. Really glad I took that fall.
Alright. As soon as Brahm threatens violence, the three begin to move. Before we go into initiative,
Oh boy.
basically, Rogers kicks his chair out behind him as he stands. Carlisle pivots towards you,
Oh yeah.
between you and Rogers, and Rana, who has been quietly sitting this entire time, leans forward, and you watch as a series of the scars carved into her skin illuminate. And she mutters, "Sweet." Kel?
Can I use a reaction?
Sure.
Counterspell.
What level?
3rd level. It's the only one I have.
Okay, roll a, you're gonna have to roll.
What are we rolling?
Your counterspell. Actually, let me just check something.
We're all gonna die.
Uh,
This place is a bomb.
if it is 4th level or higher,
We're gonna fight them now or
make
later.
an ability check.
Yeah, you need to make an ability check.
There's a bomb under the table.
Lula still has to go with the D20.
Abilities.
Oh, shit.
That is a 14.
Okay. So you see Rana lean forward, and she begins to speak an incantation, which is the glow immediately triggers you of magic.
Oh, I have to check for one.
Oh yeah, good.
Nope.
Damn.
300-foot radius.
You
a
sort of-
fireball.
I didn't know plans.
You instinctively, just a rush of magic from you, in like basically like an opposite frequency to her magic. But you can almost feel a sort of the intangible sensation of the flow of magic around you. You feel your counter spell basically like rush forward as her spell just bashes through it. And the next thing that you notice is that you are very tired as your eyelids close, and you guys watch as Kel just falls asleep onto the floor. What was your max hit points?
28.
I like how you're like not wild magic, but panic magic.
What was yours?
32.
Okay. Walter. Wait, what was yours?
38.
You were the next lowest, right?
32. I
Yes.
think was the next lowest. Yeah.
Walter, you fall over.
God. Yay. Yay. First trash, now sleep.
Now, we roll initiative.
Oh.
Echo, roll initiative.
Those that are sleeping are incapacitated and should still roll initiative.
Hey, it
So roll
works.
initiative.
Good time to roll a natural 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
Well,
Up the
I
road.
got us into this mess, and I'm probably gonna be the one to pay for it.
Okay, I'm right behind you.
I
If
rolled
you
a
were-
24. If it was gonna work.
If it wasn't going to be you, it was going to be me sooner or later.
Yeah.
You're just gonna ask.
I was getting tired
I
of
need to ask you a question.
I was getting tired of monologuing.
Yeah.
Like, man,
I was like, well, we distressed all options. I mean, we didn't just, hey you, punch, 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 punch.
To be fair, I wouldn't be punch, punch, punch. I'd be just blast, 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 blast.
well, right now you're asleep, sleep, sleep. So.
All right, heads down, thumbs up.
Hands up, 7 up.
All right, 25 to 20.
23?
20!
Ooh, big number.
That's why I'm rolling so damn low today. She's getting all my rolls.
Yeah, let's use that as an excuse.
I absolutely was gonna happen.
It's not just you sucking.
We were the low roll buddies. Feel left
Don't
behind.
worry, next week is a new week.
True.
Okay, 19 to 15.
19.
16.
15.
Also 15. Listen, I'm napping through the first round, so like I don't know what you
His
want.
reflexes are not great when he is asleep.
Do you have to be woken up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't be woken up.
Can I just like lift your like sleepless body and point your hand towards something and just be like,
That is most likely to work.
15, right?
That is most likely to work with me.
Can I beat a man with? Can I beat a man with Kel?
just like
Just to trigger the wild.
What's
magic.
your thing there, Walter?
Just shake him. Wild magic. Come on, wild
15?
magic.
All right, you're all set.
Magic 8 ball. Wild magic. Shaking.
we should
Kel.
try that one day.
You just have to get me in enough distress.
Bullshit.
Don't shake the baby. Don't shake the baby. Shake the baby.
Alrighty. So basically, as you guys threaten, you see like
That's a one.
they
42
pretty
dudes
much
from outside.
they pretty much were
Ready for this?
ready for this. You get the impression that not that they were like, oh, let's just talk to him until they piss us off and then we'll fight him. But like you kind of see as they go, like they had no intention. Like they don't think that they are in the wrong, and they are not going to give up their their prize. So they like immediately go into like attack mode. But Alar, you are the first to react.
Okay. I'm going to presume that 1, I am next to Rana, and 2, that there's somebody close enough from this party close enough to her that she would be quote unquote engaged.
Dude, we're all sitting around a table. She's got to be within 5 feet of somebody.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. So
I mean, at this point, everybody is like still in their seats, so it's hard to. I'll give it to you, but it's I might want to read up on that. To
Okay.
think about later because it's like
I know.
in combat.
I know with an assassin robe, acting first means I can get a sneak attack against her if you don't. If not,
She basically like surprise rounded you guys with a
Fair
held
enough,
spell,
then it
so
would
she
be-
has acted.
okay. So that wouldn't apply in any case. My bonus action is the weasel that's been clinging to my leg. I silently send off to use its action to bite Cal to wake him up.
Okay.
Nice.
And I grab the mug and I smash it into Rana's face, casting Booming Blade using
We'll get
it. Please, please be good. That is.
We'll use that dirt and find out.
This is 16 hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Stab her with her own knife. You have it.
It's true.
True. So.
Yeah, we do have all their stuff.
Yep.
She's a spellcaster.
Yep. So. 4 plus 3. That's
Romance
7.
spells
1 point of thunder damage, and probably don't want to move. And as far as the woozle, a 16 hits you. Okay, so. And.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Ayla.
Okay.
Weasel.
Ooh.
12.
I have celestial ravens.
Okay.
That's the title of the episode. Celestial Rabies.
The wild magic sorcerer has rabies. That's even better.
Oh,
somehow.
come on. Weasels don't get rabies.
It
Oh,
says
look at
it's
the weasel expert over here.
Weasels are rabies.
Hey.
You're asleep.
Uh,
You shut your whole mouth.
you take 24 fire damage. As soon as you hit her with the mug, and she reels back and gives this sort of and basically just fire erupts from her, washing over you. Ow.
This may have been a mistake.
Yeah.
Stick to a plan.
Of dying?
We already Leroy Jenkins, so yes, this is how the rest of that plays out.
Stick to a plan.
Alright, repeating the main
Alright, so that is your turn. Nula, you are up.
I'm going to grab Kel and just shove him behind me so that he can't be the target of any more magic.
Okay.
What did you think? That's usually how magic works, but okay.
And can I hold my other attack action?
Sure. For what trigger?
For a direct attack on myself or Kel.
Sure.
Do those other two dudes that Walter talked to look like they're doing anything?
There's 4 dudes. They're not doing anything right now.
As far as I saw, we just passed out, and there's some nonsense going on.
As far as they saw, 2 of you fell over, and then one of you, unprompted, smashed a mug into a lady's face.
Nothing wrong here. Nothing wrong here.
As you were,
Any burst of
That's out smash.
Back to
Well,
your
that's
food. While smashing a woman with a mug. Nothing to see here.
Shit. Okay, so that's your turn. Brom, you're up.
I'm going to pull out the Dirk of Mystery
Okay.
and stab Rogers with it.
Alright, roll the hit. Oh, we should put you guys on the map at this point.
Maybe.
It's gonna become important as to where everybody is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I am a horse.
You are a horse.
Yeah.
Silence. Yeah.
There we
Yeah, give me that black circle there.
go. That's our table.
And a bigger table on that.
That's
Uh,
22 to hit.
Against Rogers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the damage that thing does, so.
That's okay. I got you covered. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
So I imagine it was this.
That's Rogers.
You were over there.
Put.
I was closest to Rogers.
You're just.
And
Are you stabbing Rana or?
No Rogers.
There's
That's
Carlisle.
And I'm by Brom.
There is Rana.
Alright, put Rana on one side of me. Yeah,
I feel like this would have been.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. So you pull that dagger out and you lunge forward, and you feel your hand like all the way in. As Roger's and you like pull the dagger back out, and there is no wound on him. He's like,
What?
a little confused a second. You better watch it, buddy.
What?
I'm gonna be like, yeah, right. That was a warning.
He seems a little. He definitely was like startled as he just
He's
like
gonna like die of some horrible disease.
plunged what looked like a nasty, like a dagger into him, and just like didn't do anything. He's like confused.
It's gonna like turn into a werewolf or something. It's gonna be bad.
It is
for us.
Rana's turn. She is going to.
Talking in my sleep, using magic items without knowing what they do, has always ended up poorly.
But
I'm talking in my sleep.
hilariously
So don't worry about it.
in this case.
Sure sucks the user's so loud. Thought something much more interesting would have happened.
Can we get some? Can we get some battle music?
Oh yeah, not on point with the music
It's
today.
bar fight music. So like Toby Keith.
Can we play Ballroom Blitz without being like...
Probably not.
No.
Like 10 seconds.
You could probably play like the off-key, no
Play-
lyrics version.
It were like really slowed down and distorted.
Rana pushes back from her chair. Go ahead and roll your damage for the thing there.
Okay. 13 points.
Okay. Kind of the like goes off from where the mug hit her. She kind of reels to the side. However, you see another set of scars carved into her body illuminate, and she mutters another word.
Counterspell.
All right, what level?
3rd. It's the only one I've got.
Okay. She mutters another word, and you see there is as she like brings her hands together. Oh yeah, go ahead. Roll wild magic.
Nope.
You
set the room on fire.
She like brings her hands together, and she mutters this word with the flare of her
Cut her hands off.
the flare of her tattoos. You see, like, between her two clutched hands, there is this, like, of just, like, this inky black cloud that, like, flares to life and begins to expand. But, Kel, as you, like, are shaken awake,
Darkness, probably.
it just, like, flickers out in her hands. She kind of looks to you.
She was probably about to cast darkness.
That is her turn.
She's a tiefling, so...
Could probably be darkness.
Which brings us to Cal.
So I'm gonna duck out from behind Nula.
Okay.
I'm going to ready an empowered Chaos Bolt
Okay.
at 2nd level. For if Carlisle makes a move towards someone. I'm not like hiding that, I'm like
Okay.
holding that. We are in an establishment. Let us not.
I'm about to fuck it up. Watch what you say.
Let's
because I'm about
all
to say.
calm down. And I'm going to use the remainder of my sorcery points to make a 3rd level spell.
Okay. Alright, that is your turn. Osrius and Rip Van Winkle. Over there.
Well, I'm about to fuck that up from what you said. So, I'm gonna come right around him here. So, all the way around here.
To be clear, I'm way less concerned about people punching each other and more concerned about people throwing around fireballs.
Well,
Like, if the bar fight is just, we're gonna smash a couple mugs and tables, that's fine. If we're gonna burn the building down...
Stabbed a man with a mystery knife, so...
it's not my. I'm just gonna tell you, it's not my fault. I'm gonna rage,
Okay.
and then he takes what is it? 3 points. Carlisle and Rogers both take 3 points of fire damage.
Okay,
Is that a 10-foot radius?
Yes.
So them and any patron in this general
There's nobody.
vicinity.
We were 15 feet.
Yeah,
away from everything else.
you're not near any other people. You are near a bunch of tables and chairs and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So they both take.
Well-
they all take 3 points of fire damage. It doesn't say it lights anything on fire.
Yep.
You try.
Nothing
That's all
does
I do.
ignite. Nothing
Yeah.
does ignite.
It just says creature.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys see this like burst of fire, similar a little to what
She-
came off Arana.
I was going to say she
Um,
fucking threw fire.
But similarly, it seems to be like directed, or rather controlled enough that even though it like washes out over him, it only like scorches into Rogers and Carlisle.
And I'm going to make 2 attacks against Carlisle.
All right, roll to hit.
Well, one of those probably definitely did not hit. The other one is a 24.
24 will hit.
The other one I rolled a 2. I'm pretty sure plus 6 isn't going to do anything. So that is 7.
7 total.
Yep. Roll
Okay.
low on that D12.
Alrighty. Okay, so that is your turn. Walter, you have weird dreams about mugs flying and fire.
Is there any like save I can
I
make
don't think
against
so.
No.
waking up on my turn?
You're
or-
just out.
Not until you take damage or somebody spends an action to wake you up.
Great.
Okay, which brings us to Carlisle's turn.
Question. Good question. My familiar is outside.
Yes.
She's effectively outside. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
She
I
falls
was
from
gonna
the
say,
sky.
is there anything she could do on her turn?
Break through a window.
No, because you're unconscious and can give her directions.
So she's just asleep too.
And she's just chilling outside, like looking for
In the
mice,
street.
rats and dumpster.
Okay. It is Carlisle's turn. Carlisle is also going to rage.
Bring it, Carlisle.
You like great axe into
Your
him.
name is Carlisle.
You like great axe into him, and he like takes the 2 slashes, kind of like backs up, and you see him like ugh, slams his 2 like meat fists together, and he is going to
Let's go.
lunge at you.
That's fine.
Whoop. Crits you.
Thanks.
Not with a weapon attack, however.
That's cool.
Grapple attack.
Okay.
He basically, as you like bring your great axe up, he like bats it aside with one hand, and then just like surges in and kind of performs this like wrestling grapple maneuver, and basically works himself around you and puts you in a sleeper hold, and begins to try and choke you
me?
unconscious.
So I do things, I guess. Yeah, we'll try to chaos this.
Okay.
23 to hit.
Yes. 23 will hit.
Alright, so I have to check what kind of damage that is. That is going to be 27 psychic damage and a bounce.
Okay.
To Rogers.
Alrighty.
That is 18 to hit Rogers.
I believe that hits. Yeah.
That is 21 poison damage.
Okay.
Let me check for wild magic. No, almost. That was so open for
Damn.
Alrighty.
Psychic damage to the barbarian, though. Nice.
He's not feeling much. It's not a lot upstairs.
Yeah, but that means there's
I'm
so
just
much more
relieved
to
that I got psychic damage and poison damage and not thunder, fire, lightning.
Things people can actually resist typically. Yeah.
No, not the things.
No,
that
things that
resist,
would light
things
the
that
tavern on fire.
Yes, that's fair. Yes.
No, instead, so Carlisle's ears are bleeding.
would- That's all fine.
Yeah.
Personal bleeding's fine.
I'm hoping on his turn, Rogers just like blows up from the inside out from that mystery dagger.
It's a dagger of
Oh
air.
no, it's the dagger of evisceration!
Oh.
The dagger of justice.
I'm super curious about that dagger now.
It's
Not that I saw any of that.
It's
but I'm
either
just
something
curious.
super cool or a useless piece of shit. We'll find out.
Did you get it from townsfolk?
Rogers. What's that?
We found
It was in the
We got it
tomb.
from the tomb.
Yeah.
On his turn, stands up, or is already up.
This is not gonna be fun.
No.
There's a lot of nice sound.
It's gonna be dead.
Kel,
Eraser's
Yep.
already
fall asleep again.
almost dead.
He casts, he stands up, and he goes, sleep!
Counterspell.
Alright, roll for it.
Wow. 15.
15 is enough. Sleep! And Kel, Kel and Brom probably, I think is the next lowest. You guys start to like,
I'm not tired.
Kel goes, no!
Newell and I have the same.
Do you guys?
38.
We both have 38.
And I'm immune to sleep.
He's like, sleep! You're like, no! He's like, fuck! Pulls out a sword.
He's like, damn it, that usually works. Aren't you guys tired? God. Take a nap.
Because he attacked Kel, or I, can I now?
Does that
For
trigger?
my health
Do
action.
you have a, can you reach
Can't
him?
reach anyone.
He's like 10, 15
Across
feet.
the
He's like,
table.
yeah, 10 feet across
You
the
could
table.
throw something at them.
Theoretically, you could throw
Yeah,
something.
you've got a root beer bottle in front
Was it
of you.
a, it was a, I assume it was a melee attack that you held, though, right? Because you specifically
Yeah.
claimed. Okay. So yeah, so, he didn't approach you into your range to trigger your held action.
How far is the door?
The door, the door's probably like 30 feet away. And as as like all hell has broken loose, you see like everybody else in the bar has like gotten up and are like heading for the door.
Those dudes.
The bartender, those dudes have stood up and backed as far away from the fight as they can, but they're not leaving. The bartender, the half-elf, has run around the bar, and you see him exit out like a door into like a back room or
Cops are
or-
gonna show up.
Either that or he's grabbing a weapon.
the shotgun.
Best of luck to him if that's his plan.
I'll fight you all!
The last thing I would want to do is get in the middle of this.
Also, he just like looks at him and he's like, "Oh, my 5 health points." Top of the order, Alar.
Alright, bonus action, send my familiar, bites him
All right,
to wake him up.
you wake up to a sharp like, ah!
And now that somebody is awake on the other side of her,
Yep. So she kind of like, at this point you
what?
see her, she's kind of hunched over the table. She has like one hand on it for support. There is like a decent amount of like blood is like trickling out of her mouth. She has this almost feral look in her eyes.
You declare non.
Yep, non-lethal. I'm still using the mug. 16 plus...
Yeah.
16 plus something will hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so... once again, casting Looming Blade.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. 3d6. Let's see. 1, 4, 9, 10, 13... 13 bludgeoning. And 4 points of thunder.
This is like the back of your.
Yeah, I'm just...
So you basically just like, she kind of gets one hand up to try and like block herself, and you just get around it and like pommel of your blade just drives into the side of her head, and she just crumples unconscious in a heap. She pretty brutally like hits her face on the table on the way down, sort of like, and then hits the floor, knocked out. To which Carlisle immediately, as he's like trying to choke Osrius unconscious, is like, and like you see like the muscles like along his arms just like burst, threatening to just like pop. And the next up is Nula, as Rana is knocked out.
I'm going to yell for everyone to, like, these guys, and signal for them to get out of the bar. But then I'm gonna run over here and try to get Oz out of the triple.
All right, make a strength check.
Give me the balls. Give me the balls.
No, I went, use the D20. Let's go with the D20.
23?
20. Yeah. 20. You like you slip your arms up under Carlisle's like armpits and basically just pull back. And in combination with Osrius sort of like wedging his own fingers underneath the man's grip and pulling forward, you manage to separate the two. Osrius steps, takes one step free as Carlisle is sort of pulled backwards off of him. Alrighty, so that would be your action. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
I'm gonna pull Oz like a good distance from.
You're not on Oz. You're on Carlisle. The
on
minis
Oz.
should be switched, but you pulled Carlisle off of Oz.
Alright. And then I'm going to shove him further away from us.
To shove him would be another action, so you
Okay.
can't shove.
Okay, then I'm good.
Okay. Alrighty. So that completes Nula's turn and brings us to Braun.
What sort of weapon does Rogers have?
He pulled a after his spell failed. He pulled a short sword from a scabbard at his hip.
I'm going to attempt to stab him in the hand where he's holding his sword with the dagger.
With that same dagger?
No, with an
Oh, with a regular dagger. Okay, roll to hit. I'll say if you want to target that like specific point, it's going to be a -5 to your to hit roll.
Well, I rolled a 19, and I have a plus 5.
No,
so
it's a 19 -5.
He has
So I have a
he has
plus five
+5 to
modifier.
hit.
So it's a
So it's
19.
19.
Okay, yeah, so you
So-
stab him. Roll damage.
two damage, but hopefully he drops the sword.
Okay.
I added the strong strength modifier, so it would have been a 20.
Sorry, it's 4 damage.
Still enough.
4 damage.
4 damage. Okay.
But I was trying to attempt to get him to drop the sword, not really do
Alrighty.
damage. You know what? I'll do some psychic blades to that as well.
Okay, roll your psychic damage.
I mean, you can drop the sword, but if I can do some actual damage at the same time. 11.
You stick into his hand with the dagger, which you see like sort of convulses and it begins to fall out of his grip. And as you follow up with the burst of psychic energy into him, you see he basically like convulses and he gives like one heave and a bunch of blood like shoots out of both of his nostrils. His eyes roll back in his head and he falls dead to the ground.
Oh!
Well,
Didn't think that was going to kill him. But
go
okay.
ahead and knock him over.
Maybe that magic sword did something after all.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you just spent die.
So that brings us to Rana, who's unconscious. So Kelly, you're up.
We're gonna do. Just gonna double move. Can I go under the table?
Yeah.
Okay, probably.
Do you even have to duck at this point? Like,
There. Wait, that one's Osrius, right?
Yeah.
There.
The one with the cape is Carlisle.
Okay.
Do you want to face
All right.
him?
Anything else to your turn?
he was
Nope.
facing him.
No, he wasn't.
Osrius
Okay.
and Walter. What are you guys doing? Well, you basically like regain consciousness to see
I
like
just watched, like, two people
Rana's
down.
like face is just like covered in blood and she's laying on the floor next to you, and you like turn just in time to see Rogers like have like basically have like an aneurysm and just fall to the ground.
Go
So
like-
I'm gonna be like, oh shit, and I'm just gonna run over and just spare the dying one. And
Okay. All right. What are you doing?
I'm going to choke out Carlisle as he did me. And
Is he still being
strength check.
restrained by?
No,
no,
wait.
she just got him off.
Oh,
She like pulled him
Yeah.
off. Go ahead and make a strength based attack.
Nat 20.
Nice.
oh shit.
So you, how are you? What are you like? Are you like double hands like this, or are you putting him in a sleeper hold too?
Yeah, I'm putting him in a sleeper hold.
All right. So you guys like
And,
kind of bat at each
yeah.
other's arms. He tries to fend you off, and you sort of end up flipping him around and
yeah.
duplicating. So just, like spin the two of those. So Carlisle is basically facing like towards Brahm.
Yeah, I was about to say, can I
Like
start
that.
chokeholding him, like face him like towards the party? Because,
Yeah.
like, if you
Yeah.
guys can do something, I can do it. Or
Working
I'm
on
gonna,
it.
Or I'm gonna kill him.
All right. So you kind of like start choking him out.
There.
It is his turn. Yeah, and so, well, actually, so he is as he's like wrestling with you, and he's like, and you sort of turn him, and even through this like rage, he seems to like comprehend, and you can feel like beneath your like pressure, the fight goes out of him. He's still got his hands like on your arms, like keeping you from crushing his windpipe.
But he,
And you feel his shoulders like shaking against you, and it takes you a second to realize that he's like weeping. And against you, he's like, "Fucking murderers! Murderers! No! He struggles against you.
Alright.
That's rough.
One moment. You may not be dead. Just hang on a second.
It is Roger's turn.
So
spare the dying,
spare
the dying will keep him like.
It stabilizes him.
I mean, it works as if he was like he's not a player with death savings. But
Yeah.
yes,
Can I speak on his turn?
it's a free action to
So,
speak.
yeah, I'm gonna say like, he's not dead, but stop struggling, or he's gonna be dead.
All right. So, Roger's turn. He has been spared the dying. He's not moving. The tavern kind of reacts. The people have at this point cleared out, with the exception of those four dudes. Are like they're in the back. They're watching. They look like real nervous, but they're not doing anything yet. And Alar, it is your turn.
Alright. Going to make sure that Rana is still breathing.
Go ahead and make a medicine check.
13.
Yes, you kind of put the back of your hand up to her nose. You feel sort of the shallow of her breath. She's
Okay.
still alive.
So, going to carefully bandage up the wound and dismiss the booming blade spell, so it doesn't, kill her if she tries. does start to come to.
Okay.
Rana's not dead either. Stand down.
Okay. Nula, it is your turn.
I can heal them. Just don't.
So you guys are kind of saying this. Oz, you can feel like at this point you're almost like physically holding Carlisle up as like his like seems like his legs have gone out from him, and he's like attempting to basically like fall to his knees, but you've got him held up. He does not really seem to be listening to your guys' like pleas of reason, as he's just like
So walk over and do 2 points of
okay.
lay on him.
Don't make it back up.
Just 2 points.
All right, so that is Nula's turn. Brahm, it is your turn.
I'll prop him back up in a chair.
Pick him up. Weekend at Bernie's into a chair.
We're not done talking yet.
We got some fun. We got some fun.
Alrighty. So that was Brahm. It is Rana's turn. She's unconscious. Kel, it is your turn.
Where can I stand? There has to be a place that I can stand, like there, where he's the only person in 20 feet. And
I mean, he's literally being held by Osrius. But anything that you like hit him with is going to hit Osrius.
He's pretty much right.
And he's not fighting at this point.
Yeah.
He's basically like weeping into Osrius' arms.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll wait.
I can hear
Okay.
careless whisper in my head now. I'm sorry.
Alrighty. Osrius and Walter.
I'm gonna immediately turn to those guys, and you can do your thing first, and I'll do it.
I'll let Carlisle drop to his knees and like let go of his neck, but keep it around his chest.
Kind of like you've got him in case
Yeah.
he like tries anything
Yeah.
sudden. You've got him. And
Yeah.
you kind of let him down, and he sort of like begins to scoot a little, like he's reaching out towards the Weekend at Bernie's form of Rogers, sort of in the chair.
Yeah.
It is his turn. That is what he does with his turn. He sort of like, as much as you sort of will allow him the freedom, he goes over and he's sort of like putting his hands like trying to shake Rogers.
So I just want to talk to those guys that were on the side.
Okay.
I just want to tell them we need transport to, what was this, the city?
Niveria.
Navir.
Mhm.
We need transport to Niveria for all 9 of us immediately.
They kind of like look at each other and they like look at you and they look at the fact that there's like literally a fight going on right now, and they're like, one of them is like, well, now's a little bit of a bad time, but just we'll talk later.
If you get us on a barge, where do you go?
Later.
And then I'll just go back.
All right. So on Roger's turn, he kind of like, oh.
Easy.
So remember when I said we were gonna
Carlisle is like, huh? He puts a hand on the thing. And he's like, it's all right. Gee, kind of like leans forward onto the table and like steeples his fingers, and he sort of has this 1,000-yard stare for a moment as he's like, all right. Well, that went poorly.
Yeah, you lost that one.
Yeah, remember when I said we were gonna kick the ever-loving shit out of you?
It just happened.
Well, now that we kicked the ever-loving shit out of you, you ready to negotiate?
Rises from behind the table. He's got Rana. He sets her on a chair.
Are we out of combat? 'Cause
I mean,
I'll
at
heal-
this point, you would be out of combat.
I will heal her for 2 points too.
Okay. So she comes back, and as she wakes up, she screams something in that same language as before that is like ear splitting and has to have damaged her throat as she the chair that you had put her in, the chair flies out. she's like,
Whoa!
looking around, like,
Whoa!
it is Rogers who, as she kind of stands up, or kind of like leans towards her. He says, "Rana." She, like, it's over. Relax. So he kind of like looks around again. At this point, you guys are out of contact. How long was I out?
A few seconds.
12 seconds.
12 seconds, yeah.
Right. We probably got about a minute before the guards show up.
Yep.
He reaches into his like vest, pulls out small silver ring. He puts it, goes to like put it on the table, freezes like an inch or two above the table, and he's like, "We walk from here. That's the end of it."
You walk.
Sets it on the table.
Alright.
I like Carlo.
Go.
I will cast and detect magic.
Okay.
One other question.
It is magic. Transmutation magic.
Okay.
What happened when I stabbed you with that thing?
It's like nothing.
All right.
Alright, we need to go.
That's when the chest burster comes in.
Oh my God! Run! Not a problem. Not a problem.
Check, please!
Flip the table.
So he kind of stands up.
That's when Brom wakes up from being dead the first time. He's like, ah!
Whoa, easy. Oh, gods. We thought you were gone, man.
He wakes up. He's like, "Oh my God! I just had the most terrible dream." And he looks over at like Oz is in bed next to him. And he's like, "Go back to sleep." And then Oz wakes up. And
Oh
anyway, so that's silliness aside.
And then Walter wakes up and he's like, nice.
When the weasel wakes up.
The three pick themselves up. They kind of go over. They start to like lead Rana away, and you can see that as they start to like kind of bring her and like gather her away from you, she is like her entire body is like, and they sort of like start to walk away. They get maybe 10-15 feet from you guys. And Rogers like turns around and he looks at you. Almost looks like he's gonna say something, but next to him, Rana gives kind of like a, and he just turns away, and the three of them exit the bar.
We need to get out of here.
Yep.
Run.
This guy's self.
Immediately talk to the four again, and it's like, we gotta go.
They look at you and they're like, later. Appear from the end,
Done.
and
So,
they vacate quickly.
we gotta get Henrietta, my beer, our beer, and the carriage. We gotta go to the third pier from the west. So I'm just gonna like book it that way.
Some of the people who are disguised should go get that stuff.
Disguise self as one of the guys that ran off earlier. Doesn't really matter which one. Not just any of the people I had seen in the bar before the fight started. Just disguise self as the villain.
If there's nobody in the bar but us.
At this point, there's nobody in town.
Third pier from the west. Just
Last
straight there.
cast of
Yeah,
disguise
we're not
self
things right there.
look like a normal human.
Split up and wander around for a little bit.
I disguise self of like essentially like, you know how in Shrek 2, Shrek gets turned into a human? Like
Yeah.
the human version of Brom.
Oh boy.
You three, lay low.
I'll try.
Oh.
Is there like a?
I'm good.
Is that, does like a table have like a like a sheet on it or anything like that?
We gonna disguise as a ghost?
No, like he's like
No, he's doing the Thor Ragnarok thing. No one will recognize him. Not when I do this.
yeah, no one ever recognizes. What am I supposed to do?
I was just like, oh, I'm a babushka. Nobody will ever
I am the
recognize
glove
me.
lady.
Oh, nobody will ever know.
Do you have negative deception score?
Maybe.
'Cause that would be the best.
Yes, I do.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, so
So you guys quickly kind of come up with your plan. Osrius finds a tablecloth and like,
Can I throw some gold
Makes it a
on the
hood.
table?
Yeah.
yeah,
AOR was about to do the same thing, so you should do that. Good thinking. Let's
I'm
go.
gonna chug the rest of my tea real quick.
If there is a undrunk tankard, ALR.
How much damage do we do?
not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, see,
You
we're
didn't
fine.
do too much structural damage.
just scared everybody
The
out
fight
of the
was
bar.
fairly well contained.
We may have cooked a chair.
Some chairs got knocked over and
Just
slightly
memorize the guy
singed.
for a second.
Well, we can leave a couple gold between us
I
and
put like 3 gold deals, so.
Alright.
I'm looking into the freaking
Yeah, that's
drunken
that's-
beast.
So the party disguises themselves if they are able, tablecloths if they are not, and basically you guys like exit from the tavern and.
Who's got the ring?
I thought Ron grabbed it.
John grabbed it? Okay.
Brown
Okay.
bread.
Okay.
So yes, you have the ring, and you guys like scatter, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So as the party scatters, you begin to hear the sound of clang, 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 clang bells of the guards going onto alert. You start to disperse your separate ways, and that is we will call an end to tonight's session. So, good session, everybody. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Stay tuned to Proficiency Bonus this week for all sorts of other interesting shows. The Wednesday dudes and dudettes after us have sort of reformatted again
Thank you.
to a new, I believe, custom sort of campaign
Oh,
called
no.
Brave, I think.
Hey!
It's got a pencil today. It's the first time in 3 years Curtis has had a pencil.
Sorry.
Join us Thursdays for Insight Check, and there is another episode of Dirty 20 that will be going on during the birthday month, so stay tuned for information about that. We do have shows every day of the week right here on Proficiency Bonus on Twitch. Check us out at Tabletop Legends on YouTube. You can catch all of our back episodes up to this point right now at Tabletop Legends on YouTube. This episode, if you missed any of it, will go up on Monday next week before the episode 14 next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If the chat, as always, if the chat would like to cast a vote for our Golden 20, Golden D20, you can feel free to do so now. If anybody did something particularly cool or funny or interesting this session, do so. The party is turning in their votes.
Can I use the D20 to escape whatever guards and hide?
Sure, you can use your D20 for a stealth check.
That's what I think I
What the
need.
number one thing you need? Hey, did you see a definitely not human running around here?
Did you see a giant blue dragon? No!
No.
Because this is what I need this for.
They meant light blue. I am purple blue.
Yes, I am.
I am clearly periwinkle, and that is racist, sir.
It's called cyan. Come on.
I will have you know that I am a cobalt blue dragon, not an eggshell.
I have 6. Or I have,
You said
4, I have
blue?
5 out of 6. Who am I
I'm
missing?
a sky blue, thank you.
We have so we have a vote from chat for Roberts and the Boys.
Oh, okay. Damn.
I mean, to be fair, they definitely earned it.
No, they didn't.
I also want to point out the terrible joke that I made in chat, which is somebody said, "Uh-oh, if the guards show up, there's going to be some explaining to do." To which I responded, "Or some exploding to do," and then
Double finger
winky
guns.
finger gun emoji.
So tune in next week when we ban Russell from using Twitch chat for that. Okay, so so chat says totally want to give the 20 to Roberts. It's Rogers, and the boys, aka the DM, for awesome reasoning powers. Thank you very much. I am flattered. NPCs can't get the golden D20.
Especially when you beat them within an inch of their life.
Yeah, especially when they get
that would be some shit.
face wrecked by the party.
I thought that was going to go way worse than it did.
I mean, we
I
did
thought
kill
so, too.
You
two.
guys
of them.
messed up a lot of their spellcasting.
Yeah. Once again.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Among the party, we have a vote for Nula for nonviolence. We have a vote for Osrius for tablecloth master of disguise.
Yeah.
We have a vote for Brahm for intimidating not only the relic hunters but the poor bar boy. Urine McWetpants.
That's his name.
Well, there's the episode title.
McWetpants.
Urine McWetpants. We have a second vote for Osrius for, I believe this says NFL jacked up.
Oh, the freight training the.
On Rana.
Yep.
That was not me.
We have a vote for Counterkel.
Yeah.
That's the episode title.
Counterkel is good.
That's going to be your nickname.
He's next week. He's going to show up with a jersey.
Counterkel. That's so good.
I like that one.
Anyway. But our winner for the night with a third and deciding vote is Osrius for comfort in Carlisle's dire hour.
Oh, I just let him go. That's
See?
all.
See, you did it all.
Yeah.
You were an NFL linebacker.
Comforted.
Golden D20 to
You
Curtis
covered
and
something,
Osrius for
and
next
you were a
week.
master of disguise.
Yes. I had to punch somebody really
Master,
hard.
Pre-Weapon Master.
Join
Punch
us next
somebody
week
really hard.
for the next exciting episode of Counterkel. A pun so good it might be the new title of our show. Thank you guys. Good night. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.